Stop it. Stop. 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 Go. Please stop.
I hate you.
I know. Please.
You confirmed me.
Please stop.
I hate you.
Stop it.
You said you liked your
Stop.
pussy.
No.
You
Stephanie.
told me that.
Stop. Stop. Please. Go. Please leave.
I hate you for
Please
comparing
leave.
me to them.
Please leave.
I hate this house.
I know. Please leave. Leave. Please leave. Hey, that's my wallet. Leave, please.
Stop recording me.
Please leave.
I can call the cops and get you arrested
I know.
right now.
Please
so stop
leave.
recording me.
Please leave.
Stop recording me. Or I'll have you arrested right now and ruin your fucking life like you ruined mine.
Okay.
I have a Reddit post here that I'd like to read to you, and the subject matter is around RAPE, so if this is a sensitive subject for you, this might not be the right video for you. Am I the asshole for revealing the truth behind my friend's RAPE? I, a 21-year-old male, have been friends with this girl, let's call her Gracie, 20-year-old female, since middle school. We have this big group of friends. We've all known each other since high school. A couple of years ago, Gracie started dating this guy named Steve. Steve was an asshole. Probably the most narcissistic person I've ever met. Steve cheated on Gracie. So Gracie lied saying he RAPE'd her. At first, I believed it, but it's been months now. Steve ended up leaving the state because he lost his job and his family kicked him out. He lost pretty much everything. Gracie has been playing victim the entire time, even going as far to call up Steve's new job in the new city he was in to tell them what he did. Last week, Gracie and I were talking. I told her maybe she should go to therapy. She admitted to me that she doesn't need therapy because it never happened. She just wanted to ruin his life. I screenshotted the text and I sent to both Steve's and Gracie's families. As much as I hate Steve, I'm also extremely against false allegations. No man deserves that. Gracie's family is in the middle of kicking her out, and our friend group has been calling me nasty things, saying that I had no right to reveal something so secret, and that it wasn't my place to reveal a private conversation. I believe I'm in the right, even if Steve is the worst. Am I the asshole? This story is a good example of what female psychopathic behavior looks like. Most people think of a psychopath as someone who goes on crazy killing sprees and is frequently violent, but that's actually rare. Now, I'm not a psychologist. I'm just a guy who can read and think critically. And I've supported men who have had to deal with women like this, so I have some subject matter familiarity. But of course, if you disagree with anything I say here, please raise it in the comments. And if you like this video, please remember to click like so that YouTube shows it to more people. And if you want to know when I release a new video, please remember to subscribe and also hit the bell notification icon. Thanks very much. So what is a psychopath? The term is quite ambiguous, coming from the Greek word psyche, meaning soul, and pathos, meaning suffering. In the psychological literature, the disorder is called antisocial personality disorder. Those with full-blown ASPD only make up around 1% of the population, but up to 30% of people have some psychopathic traits. So someone who gets a diagnosis as a psychopath simply has a collection of traits that normal people have, but in a particularly rare concentration. And due to the ambiguity and changefulness of the term's meaning over the years, psychopathy in the public consciousness tends to be mixed up with the other disorders labelled as cluster B in the DSM-5, namely narcissistic personality disorder, borderline personality disorder, and histrionic personality disorder. It is possible for someone to have more than one diagnosis, but that doesn't mean they're all the same. So what is the difference between a narcissist and a psychopath? The term narcissist is from the myth of Narcissus, who is said to have seen his reflection in a lake and fallen in love with his own image. But it's not the true image of himself. It doesn't match reality. A narcissist has a false concept of self. Their whole life tends to be around believing that they are better and more virtuous than other people, than they really are. And they tend to believe their own lies, To get caught out, to be unmasked as a fraud, would result in a huge crisis of identity. So they tend to rewrite history to remember it in a way that they never did anything wrong, that they were the most impressive and talented and morally pure person there. On the other hand, a psychopath doesn't care about getting caught. They don't need you to like them or think of them as a good person. A narcissist tries to protect their self-image. The psychopath doesn't care what you or anyone else thinks of them. This doesn't mean that they're totally devoid of emotion either. They feel jealous of the connections that other people have. They can feel hurt and rejected and depressed, but they never feel guilty. They might feel regret about getting caught, but getting caught doesn't usually lead to them learning that their behavior was wrong. Also, their emotions can flip from one to another very quickly. They have poor emotional regulation. They can't stop and think, for example, I feel attacked. Have I really been attacked? What are the reasons that this might be true? What are the reasons that this might be false? What they feel for them is absolutely true. If they feel attacked, then the reality is that they are being attacked. But there's often a big separation between what they feel and what they show. So compared to a neurotypical person, they can seem very unpredictable. They can pretend to be cool and actually be plotting their revenge the whole time. Most egregious of all, they are extremely deficient in empathy and high in impulsivity. They don't have the capacity to contemplate how their actions might affect others or even themselves. But the topic of this video is about female psychopaths. So what are the differences between male and female psychopaths? A 2015 study found that female psychopaths showed reduced emotional processing activity in the amygdala and anterior cingulate cortex of the brain. That's exactly the same as male psychopaths. Unlike males, however, female psychopaths showed reduced responses to morally sensitive images in the right temporoparietal junction, an area of the brain linked to one's sense of justice, ability to see other people's perspectives, and the attribution of intentions. And I think this is the crux of the matter and why I chose that Reddit post to illustrate what female psychopathy might look like. Gracie didn't care about the morality of lying. Gracie didn't think about how Steve would have suffered from a false accusation. In Gracie's mind, she felt bad because of Steve, so Steve must be destroyed. There wasn't any questioning over whether it was an appropriate course of action. She felt betrayed, she felt attacked, so the most natural, impulsive, and obvious course of action in her mind would be to destroy the attacker. Like you or me might think of swatting a mosquito that just bit us. Male psychopaths might use violence to achieve their aims, but Gracie knew that that might not have a high chance of success. So instead she used reputation destruction by accusing him of RAPE. We see a similar behavior in women who encourage men to kill themselves. They literally do not and cannot care. They don't have the capacity to. Psychopathic rage is different from narcissistic rage, which can be gotten rid of through punishing the supply, which they usually want to keep around as a victory trophy to prop up their own story. Murderous psychopathic rage, on the other hand, can only be resolved by destroying completely and removing from the realm of existence the thing or person. They also see people as things, by the way. The thing or person which they see as the source of their shame. They can only relax when the thing is gone. So male psychopaths are more likely to use violence, female psychopaths are more likely to use reputation destruction, try to destroy their connections with family, try to drive them to suicide or extreme actions to get them locked up, or just to get them to fall into addictions and destroy their own life that way. Punishment, as we know it, doesn't usually come to mind. It's simply a way of solving the problem as they see it. He made me feel bad, so I must get rid of him. The comedian Bill Burr once said about the hashtag #BelieveWomen, "What about the psychos?" This was said in jest, but is actually valid. While all claims should be taken seriously and investigated, they shouldn't be automatically believed. Believing is going too far and risks causing serious harm to innocent people, because people like this are out there. Women don't get excluded from the worst parts of human nature just because they're women, and that includes the risks of mental disorders such as psychopathy. So does all this talk of female psychopaths scare you? You now know that women with psychopathic behavior exist. What should our response be? Should we watch video after video about how to spot a psychopath, or how to know if the person you're with is a psychopath? No, I don't think that's a good use of anyone's time. We aren't capable of making a diagnosis. What we can do, however, is make ourselves someone who would be incompatible with psychopaths, diagnosed or not. Rather than try to focus on detecting the most dangerous people, We can simply be aware that they exist and amend our relationship behaviors to lose their attention at a very early stage. We need to hire slow and fire fast in our relationships with others. Don't give someone more trust or commitment than they have earned, and be totally yourself with them, even if that might upset them. Don't try to protect their feelings, because it's better to know sooner rather than later if there's someone that values you for you. And allow people to be pissed off at small things and see how they react. Don't fall in love with someone that you haven't annoyed yet and then seen how they function. And your capacity to do all of this is based on valuing yourself as the most important person in your life. You're welcome.